Welcome back to FM Storey. We're in the second half of season 10 of our save, where we try to end the dominance of Rangers and Celtic in Scottish football. And things are going pretty well, despite the fact that we had a mass exodus of players in the summer. All the players that sort of were big parts of the treble, most of them disappeared in the summer for big money. We are currently top of the table. We're 6 points clear of Celtic. They've got 2 games more than us. And we're 13 points clear of Rangers, so we're in a pretty strong position in the league. We've already won the League Cup this season. We're still in the Scottish Cup, and we've made it to the knockout stages of the Champions League, although we're in the playoff round and we've been drawn against Arsenal, so that's going to be a particularly tough task. But without further ado, let's get into the action. We're into the last week of February and we've got the second leg coming up against Arsenal in the Champions League. Since the end of the last episode, things have gone reasonably quite well. We've had a couple of pretty exciting games. We started with a pretty comfortable 3-1 victory at home against Hibs. They did take the lead, but we were able to get back on level terms pretty quickly, and then in the second half, we're just too strong for them. And then the Scottish Cup. So we went 1-0 down and then equalised 10 minutes later. We went into half-time 2-1 down. Then we got 2 goals to go 3-2 up. Then Casanova scored a penalty to put us 4-2 up. They scored in the 83rd and 89th minute to make it 4-4. We scored in the 91st minute to make it 5-4. And they scored in the 94th minute to make it 5-5. And then we eventually got the winner in the 109th minute in extra time. Quite what we were doing, I don't know. Especially when you look at the match ratings as well. We don't seem to have played that badly, but yet we conceded 5 goals and had to go to extra time. But we're through to the quarter-final, and we've been drawn against League One side Cove Rangers in that quarter-final, so hopefully that should be us into a semi-final. We then followed up that game with a comfortable 5-1 victory away at Queen's Park. A 2-2 draw against Rangers. They scored, we quickly equalised. We went ahead, they quickly equalised. And then we went into the first leg against Arsenal. We were 1-0 up at half-time. A Gabriel Jesus double in the second half had us looking at a first leg deficit, but then a 95th minute Casanova penalty levelled it up 2-2 going into the second leg. We're going to have to be much better in the second leg than we were in the first leg though. And then in the most recent league game, we won 2-1 at home against Celtic. Again, we weren't brilliant, but we got the job done. So obviously next up we've got the second leg against Arsenal, going into it level, so hopefully we can pick up a result. But as far as the league is concerned, we are still top of the table. We are 13 points clear of Celtic and they've played a game more than us. We are 13 points clear of Rangers and they've played the same number of games as us. And we've scored 80-odd goals this season. We only have the one player right up at the top of the list in Casanova with 15 goals this season. He's scored as many goals in other competitions this season already as he has in the league, because he's already scored 30 this season. And hopefully he can put in another performance in the second leg against Arsenal and see us through to the round of 16. So unfortunately there's some issues with the recorded action of the Arsenal Motherwell game. The recording corrupted. We went into the game for the first time for a while with our full first choice 11 available. We got off to a decent start when Casanova snuck a penalty past Ramsdale after Nuevo had been upended. They were quickly back on level terms when Martinelli got in behind Dumitru and fired across Zebra to level it at 1-1. But we went into half-time in control. Medina out to Santos. He fires the ball low into the box. Casanova gets across the near post to make it 2-1. And then we worked the ball pretty well. Deli Basic
into Nuevo, first time ball onto Casanova, great first touch to get out his feet, 3-1 at half time, Casanova with a hat-trick, and we were really in control. Very opening minutes of the second half, Martinelli pulls the ball back to Havertz, who'd just come on. He stands it up to Gabri Veiga at the back post, and that was 3-2. From a corner, we worked the ball back out to Cochise. He played it into Basuare, who somehow managed to beat Ramsdale to put us 4-2 up. And then Gabri Veiga pulls the ball across. Gabby Jesus with a simple header to make it 4-3. And that's how it ended. 4-3 on the night. The first leg was 2-2. So we go through 6-5 on aggregate. And we're into the last 16 in the Champions League again. So we've made it to the second leg of the round of 16 game against Leipzig. And things have carried on pretty well since the Arsenal game. We do have a few issues for the second leg, which we'll go into in a minute. But we started with a comfortable 5-1 victory over Livingston. It was comfortable despite the fact that there was a really kind of bizarre 4-minute spell. We took the lead through a free kick from Casanova. Then Kokora got sent off. Then Casanova scored another free kick. And then we went 3-0 up in the 35th minute. And we were 4-0 up at half-time with 10 men. We scored a fifth early in the second half. They got a consolation goal back through Farfus, who seems to score in every game against us. But that was a really decent start. We then went into the home leg against Leipzig in the round of 16. And we came away with a 1-0 victory. A goal late on from Carlos Medina secured the result. We weren't really under much threat at all. But the yellow cards that you can see there are a big, big issue come the second leg, which we'll get to in a second. And then in the most recent game, we beat Cove Rangers 3-0 in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup, which sees us through to the semi-final where we've been drawn against St Mirren. Now, the second leg against Leipzig, you'll see from the preview there that we have 4 players suspended. We actually have 5 players suspended. So Hidero is suspended, Medina is suspended, Santos is suspended, Nuevo suspended, and Laterna suspended. So we're basically missing a centre-half, a left-back, 2 central midfielders, and our left winger. What could possibly go wrong in this second leg? Let's find out. So, this is the side we've been forced into picking for the second leg. We've had to go with San Martin and Leon King in the centre of defence. We've had to go with Salamanca at left back. The reason we've had to go with San Martin and King is that Stefan Rackler, as well as all the suspensions, Stefan Rackler's injured, failed a fitness test for the game. So, not looking too good at the back. In midfield, we're not too badly off, because although we're losing Medina and Nuevo, Dusink, who's been outstanding when he's played, is able to come into the team. Lennon Miller's come in to play in the middle of that 3. And then up front, we've got Deli Basic off the right, Luis Roberto off the left instead of Laterna, and then Casanova through the middle. And obviously we are 5 subs short. We've got a goalkeeper on the bench, a defender on the bench, a central midfielder, a winger comes centre forward, and 2 centre forwards. So let's hope we're not having to hold on to a lead later on, because we don't have an awful lot of defensive substitutions that we can make to improve that. Right, so Zebra claims the ball on his line and then goes long looking for Casanova. They've won the header though. And Kramer up against Dumitru. Goes back to Kramer. Can he keep it in? Yes. We've got a block on that shot. But Milsom, who we tried to sign from Hibs at one point. Oh. I don't know what that save was from Zebra, but luckily it's turned it behind the post for a corner. They've pulled it back to the edge of the box, tried from distance, we've got a block on it. And then we've won a free kick. King to Salamanca. Back to King. Across the pitch to Dumitru in space. Basuare has it taken off him though, and now they're going to break on us. And we're struggling to get players back by the looks of it. But Salamanca intercepts the pass and then strides forward on this left-hand side. Introducing onto Luis Roberto into the box. Oh! And it's been turned behind for a corner. That would have been a lovely goal and would have been a big help in this tie. Roberto with the corner, drives it in, and they've managed to head it clear. And Dusing's got it into Lennon Miller, who loses out. Kramer's been a big threat by the looks of it down this left-hand side. Most of the attacks have involved him in some way. And we've forced them back to the keeper. And then they've gone wide. Casanova nicks the pass. Luis Roberto, we've still got it. Basuare, Deli Basic in the box. Oh, he should have scored, but he's hit the post. Luis Roberto is then taken out. Kramer again with the ball. They're passing it around quite nicely, but King's got it. Goes back to Zebra. Who then goes long. The Deli Basic to chase. He's got onto it. I mean, I don't know why they didn't leave that to go for a goal kick, but down the line, no, they're going to score from this, aren't they, after I've said that. Peroni with the cross, and luckily the header just loops up wide of the post. As if our problems weren't bad enough, Basuare's pulled his hamstring, so we've had to bring the one central midfielder we had on the bench on in Kokora, who got sent off on his last appearance in the league. Luckily that shot was over the top, but he's going to have to get adjusted to the speed of the game pretty quickly. Salamanca to Luis Roberto, back to Luis Roberto. He just let them, I don't know what that was. King to Lennon Miller. King bringing it forward into Casanova. Dumitru, Salamanca on the edge of the box. Has a go on his right foot. He's hit the woodwork. I mean, we should have been 2 or 3-0 up. At this stage, we're 0-0 on the night. We're 1-0 up on aggregate. And, yeah, it's going to be a tense second half, I think. Right, another throw on that left-hand side for them. There's quite a lot of them starting their attacks. And they've gone back to the keeper. He's passed it into the midfield. Luis Roberto wins it back. Lennon Miller out to Deli Basic with space to move into there. What a ball for Casanova. Was he onside? I think he was probably gone a bit too early. It's a great finish and it would be brilliant if it stands, but I think it's about to get disallowed. No, he's tight. That must be really, because it looked offside. And it's hard to tell from that replay because you're not going to see him, but it's a lovely pass from Deli Basic. A great finish by Casanova. And we're about to see where the lines, it must be pretty close. No, it's actually a lot more onside than it looked. And that's 2-0 up on aggregate. Zebra goes long. Right. But they're coming back. Kramer again on the left-hand side. It's gone back to the goalkeeper. Kokora gets there. Deli Basic flicks it on to Casanova. Out wide to Luis Roberto. Kokora. Miller wide to Luis Roberto. Gone over the top looking for Casanova, but it's been headed clear. The keeper goes long. San Martin wins it. Casanova. Luis Roberto. Kokora from the edge of the box hits the side netting. Zebra with the goal kick, with a free kick. And Costinha into the box. That is absolutely what we didn't need. He's gone along with the free kick. None of our players were anywhere near winning it, and then Costinha's basically just run right between the two centre halves and then just bent it into the corner from the edge of the box. Right, from the kick-off, Dusink, White, Deli Basic into the box, pulls it across Casanova. Oh. What an equaliser within seconds of their goal. We've restored the 2-goal advantage on aggregate. Dusink, Deli Basic did well, moved into the space, gets to the box, pulls it across. The keeper's had a nightmare there. An absolute shocker from the keeper, but we don't mind. We've restored the 2-goal advantage on aggregate. We're back in front on the night. Right, so we've brought some fresh legs on just to try and see out this game. Make sure we stay ahead on aggregate. Ramsey with a corner. San Martin flicks a header and it just goes over the top. And it's Zebra with a free kick. Against Cologne. Again, they've won the header. Again, it drops to Costinha. This time, Kramer down the right-hand side. Gets to the byline, sticks across up towards the back post, but Zebra comes and claims it. And then he goes long again. They've won the first header and got the loose ball, but King intercepts the pass. Stevie Spears, who's just come on, wide to Kokora. He gets to the byline, still got it. Pulls a cross in. It's headed clear as far as Salamanca. He's in the box, has a shot on his right foot, comes back to him. Finds Spears, in off the post. 3-1 on the night. 4-1 on aggregate. And it looks like we're heading for the Champions League quarterfinals. Salamanca drove into the box, has a shot on his right foot. Kokora wins a header. Comes back to Salamanca, rather than having to go on his left foot, finds Spears, who hits it first time, and it dribbles in off the post. And we're flying at the minute. Right, Castro intercepts the ball into the box. Now he's driving forward down the left-hand side. Deep into injury time. Put a cross in. It comes down to Miller, who smashes a volley that hits the roof of the net. That would have been a cracker of a goal. But there we are, full time, 3-1 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate, and we're through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And I have to say, if you thought that was on the cards given the suspensions we had going into the second leg, I certainly didn't think that was going to be the case. We are going to have at least one suspension for the first leg of the quarterfinal, because Dumitru, I think, has picked up too many yellow cards. But we're still in with a chance. Hopefully we get a decent draw. And you never know, we might manage to make it even to the semi-finals. But things are going. But overall, really impressive performance. And we just need to carry on in this vein. We've made it to the end of March and things have gone in the same vein that they have basically the whole season, to be honest. We followed up the victory against Leipzig with a 5-1 victory at home against Queen's Park. Pretty comfortable performance. Dusink got a double on start in the game. We then followed that up with a 1-0 win at home against Rangers. We missed a penalty early on through Cochise, but Thomas Dusink again popping up with a goal. And then in the most recent league game, another comfortable 3-0 victory over Dunfermline. Goals from Casanova, Dusink again, and then a lovely goal late from Luis Roberto. A well-worked short corner between him and Nuevo. Saw him cutting in and just firing past the keeper. And as far as the league's concerned, we have nearly secured the title. We're 18 points clear.
with 21 points left to play for. There's a very good chance that we're going to have the league wrapped up before the split. We've already qualified for the Champions League next season. There's 2 games left before the split, and we've got St Mirren and Hearts. If we win those 2 games, then we'll have won the title before we even get to the split and playing against all the other teams in the top half. Casanova, top goal scorer in the league, Laterna and Medina with the most assists. The 3 of them right at the top of the average ratings as well. It's been a really good season, especially considering where we were at in the summer with all the departures. We are obviously still in the Scottish Cup. We've got the semi-final coming up against St Mirren, and we've had the draw for the Champions League. And as you can see, we've been drawn against Marseille, who we beat in the Europa League final a couple of seasons ago. And if we get past them in the semi-final, we would have Man United or Newcastle. But obviously, the first task is going to be Marseille. And there we have it, the end of another episode. As we said, things are going swimmingly. We've already won the League Cup. We're about to win the league. We're in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup and the quarter-final of the Champions League. Given the upheaval in the summer, we couldn't have expected anything more than this. So join us in the next episode to see if we can retain the domestic treble. And could we possibly even add the Champions League? We'll find out next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.